guys, today I'm going to be hanging out with you kind of a little bit more casual. I'm in my PJs because I'm about to go to work. But I wanted to share with you guys how to keep your hair from getting brassy. Now, if you don't know by now, I am a licensed cosmetologist. I do work in the salon, so I have a professional opinion and recommendation on how you can do this, as well as personal experience. Guys, I've been a blonde for a very, very long time. It's the normal color that I do. It's my natural color. But I have done other things, and whenever I've come back from either being a redhead, that I've been a redhead. Last year I went purple, like bright, crazy purple. I can insert a picture somewhere around here so you guys can see. There's kind of been a few different things that I've done. And then I decided to go platinum. Now, when you're pulling certain colors out of your hair, you're going to be met with a challenge. So I'm going to give you a little bit of color theory first before I even tell you the products that I recommend. I'm just going to kind of give you guys why your hair gets brassy so you know the exact reason of why it can get a little bit orangey or a little bit yellowy. So to talk about my hair from when I was purple, you have to lighten your hair to get that stuff out. So whenever you're lightening your hair, you're going to be lifting. And so basically you're going to be doing that with either permanent hair color or lightener. Unless you're using just a demi-permanent or semi-permanent. Some semi-permanents can give you a little bit of lift as well. If you're working with basically a developer and your hair product, you may not know if you do or not. Your hairstylist would know this. So if you're trying to cover gray, or if you're trying to make your hair lighter, or even if you have your natural hair color and you just want to color it because you have a little bit of grays, it can be using a developer, which requires lift in your hair. So when you lift your hair, you're going to be getting into some underlying pigments. As my chair is swiveling. No! I'm gonna break something. So without getting a little too crazy, some of the stuff that you learn in hair school and then as well as out of hair school is that you have underlying pigment in your hair. Now, I have this really great little kind of color wheel that I designed for you guys. And as you can see on the color wheel, it basically looks like a rainbow going from yellow, yellow-orange, orange, red, red-orange, down to purple. You have your blues and your greens. So for me personally, this is a super quick, easy explanation of what happens when you guys have tones in your hair. So for people that have dark brunette, like mostly like really dark hair, you're going to end up, when you're lifting, seeing a little bit of red. That can be your red tone. If you're in kind of like the medium brown area, you're going to be lifting and seeing orange tones. If you're in the blonde area and you're wanting to lift to get a blonde, you're going to be seeing yellow tones. So in this color wheel that you see, yellow is at the top, and the way that you neutralize is something that you learn back in art school, either in elementary or wherever you're learning your art. For me, I love art anyway, so I know about this. But if you look at the yellow, you're going to be neutralizing. So the way that you neutralize a color, basically to make a brown or a beige, you're going to go directly across from it. So because I have a yellow undertone in my hair, I'm going to go down to violet. That is going to be the color that neutralizes the yellow out of my hair. So basically, that is going to be your neutralizers. So the reason why we have this in our hair is because when you lift, this is what is in our hair. So sometimes, depending on your color, a lot of stylists try to neutralize that color and give you either a neutral or even semi-warm or ashy color. So what happens is that it's not your hairdresser's, let me put big quotation marks on this, complete fault that when you lift your hair, you're seeing these tones, because it's already in your hair. That's the pigment that keeps your hair color the color that it is. So our job as hairstylists to go in and know what colors to use on your hair to correct that. This might be confusing to some of you guys, but I wanted to give you a little bit of color theory so maybe you can have an aha moment of like a light bulb of what happens. So let's get on to what I used in my hair to get my hair from my kind of like yellowy picture of my platinum when I was trying to go platinum to my really beautiful ashy tone that I now have. And then I keep this way even though I'm not doing any color to my hair since, oh my gosh, it's probably been how long has it been? Maybe two months, maybe a little bit less than that I've colored my hair, but I still get to keep the ashy tone. So let me share with you how I got that. So like I said, you're going to be making sure that your stylist understands your underlying pigments in your hair. I would definitely recommend going to someone that you've either been recommended to by another person who has similar problems as you, or someone who really understands color, because some people can do some really beautiful colors, but if you're doing color correction or trying to take care of, you know, brassiness, sometimes you just want to make sure that you're going to someone who really understands that. So for me, I like to use toners because I'm not using permanent color in my hair. I have a semi-permanent on my base, which is actually now my natural because I was platinum. And when I went from platinum to kind of this softer ombre, all we wanted to do is kind of put some color on my base so that afterwards, after a few months, my base would grow out as my natural hair. So I've only had semi-permanent, like demi-permanent on my base. Now it's all gone. Now all of this dark that you see at the top is all of my natural. So as well as on my ends, we use the same exact color. And I like to use Redken Shades. This color is really great. It makes your hair feel super soft, silky, beautiful. It has a beeswax base. It's really great for your hair. And what happens when you use this is that you can either use it as a full color, like let's say you're wanting to just do something very natural to like enrich your hair. It's really great for that. And then you can also use it diluted as toners. So what I like to use on my hair, I'll give you my color combination. So we did my base, but my ends were completely different. So instead of adding like a permanent color or something, because we wanted to make sure that my ends stayed really healthy, we used a semi-permanent gloss, and that is the Shades EQ Redken. So what I did for my formula is I mixed 9T, which is 9 titanium. Titanium is a very silvery, ashy color. It's amazing for cutting out unwanted like brassiness. And my puppies come in to say hello. Good morning. Good morning. The little one is like on crack. So if you see her running around, she's like so happy it's morning time. She is very, very happy little puppy. Anyway, so I used 9T titanium to kind of help to get me a little bit more ashy, as well as 9V. Now 9V is violet. Bella, no, back up, sit. Good girl, stay. So 9V is violet. Now if you were to put this as full concentration onto your hair, you guys may have no idea what I'm talking about unless you're a hairstylist. Basically, it's going to be very purple. So I dilute it with my clear to just kind of help to use it as a toner. So if you are a hairstylist, I do equal parts of 9T, 9V, and clear. And if you're wanting to leave it on for a long time with Redken, I'll do like an ounce of clear with like 15, I use grams and ounces, so like 15 grams of 9T and 9V, and then equal parts of processing solution. So if you're not a hairstylist, don't listen to that because you have no idea probably what I'm talking about. So basically I'm using a violet toner. Just like we saw in our color wheel, you have your yellow hair that you're ending up with, and then your purple hair that, or your purple toner that we're going to use. And in the middle, you can see I've overlapped them. And then in the middle, you're going to get this really beautiful beige. And I cut out a smaller thing down below so that you guys could see that is actually the color that's right in the center. It's a gorgeous beige, and that one is neutralized in my hair. So I use toners in Salon for either girls that have any tone that they're wanting to kind of cancel out. I neutralize that with a toner. Now these only last for about 4 to 6 weeks, so you are having to come in a little bit more frequently if you don't get your hair done all the time to get these toners. So my ombre girls, I have them come in like every 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how much they wash their hair, to retone their hair. This is a really quick and easy service. It takes anywhere from like 5 to 20 minutes, so it's super simple. So toners are something that I use in Salon and that I definitely utilize a ton to keep longevity of keeping girls' hair ashy. And the more that I use it, the less brassiness I see in people's hair. A quick little thing on top of that, you guys are getting a lot of color theory, but I feel like if you understand it more, you can understand why it happens to your hair. So whenever you get your hair colored or chemically processed or mechanically, if you're using hot tools and stuff, your hair gets more porous. So if you think about shingles on a roof, this is the easiest way for me to explain it. Shingles on a roof are kind of layered and stacked down. That's how your cuticle on your hair is. So you have a bunch of shingles, and the more and more, like let's say this is your hair strand, we're gonna get really funky here. This is your hair strand. You have all of your shingles all stacked up on the cuticle of your hair. The more and more processed your hair gets, the more your cuticle opens up. This can create your hair to be uneven, so whenever you're toning it, you might get a little bit of purple like around your face or on your ends, or patchiness. I love to use my Shades EQ by Redken to really even out porosity, because it goes in and fills in those places so that when I do use something at home, I'm not getting splotches, or even with my toner, I'm not getting splotches. It really evens it out and makes your hair super healthy, and just, not that it's going to like go in and just put all your split ends back together, because that can't happen, but it seals your cuticle down and gives you a more even color. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to see part 2 on at-home shampoo and conditioner that I recommend, be sure to check out the video down in the description box.